Hi, Michael Buffer here, and let's get ready for Stat Sports.
All right, so we are in the parking lot of an Acme supermarket here with Giants legend Tiki Barber. I know this is how you envision retirement would be, right?
This is busy, but this is fun because we get to hang out with some of the Giants fans that are in the Westchester area and talk about tailgating and have a good time. Maybe we'll talk about the Giants game last night. Probably not. Or 2 nights ago, I should say.
It's kind of the experience of meeting the fans, signing autographs. What's that all like for you?
You know, it's cool. A lot of these kids were too young to have seen me play, but their moms and dads were around or Giants fans when I was at my height. And sometimes we'll come across some like 18 or 19-year-old kids that were like 10 or 11 when I was playing, and so it resonates with them really, really well.
You're the all-time leading rusher for the Giants. Just you had so much success here. Why did Tiki Barber in New York just work so well together?
You know, I think because I smile a lot. You know, so
the golden smile T too.
Honestly, I think a lot of it was actually my name because kids could say it easy, and it was easy to remember. And then once I got good, it worked. I like people. I love meeting people, and so being.
You like meeting me?
Of course.
Oh, where?
But I lived in New York. I lived in the city when I was playing, and so. I would have thought was a, cold, sterile, like frenetic city. Actually turned out to be warm and engaging, and I loved it.
So we're coworkers, but also we're both twins. I'm a twin, you're a twin.
Are you identical?
Not identical though. But just to be able to play in the NFL, having your brother also in the league, I mean, what is that like? How do you put that into words?
Yeah, it's unique. But it's also a blessing because you realize how hard it is to make it. Yeah. We're starting to actually see a bunch of them now, at least brothers. The McCourty twins are playing for the Patriots, but there's a lot of brothers.
You don't want to talk about New England and New York, right?
Yeah, no, especially after on Thursday night. But, it was great to share it with him. And even though he was down in Tampa and living a different life, having different experiences, it was cool. You know, we both dreamed of this, and it came to fruition, which is awesome.
Was that like the conversation as a kid, like we're both going to make the NFL, we're both going to be millionaires or something like that?
Honestly, the conversation was like, I want to be an astronaut. Yeah. And I don't know what he wanted to be. He probably wanted to be a football player, but we pushed each other, like constantly pushed each other, and that was through high school and through college, and then ultimately even in the NFL. So it worked, and we both made it.
I'm going to ask you about the current day Giants. You were in the booth for Danny Dimes' debut with your brother. That was pretty cool. Just what was your reaction to what you've seen so far?
Yeah, so I met him last summer, so the summer before the Giants drafted him. And I was really impressed with his composure and the way he carried himself, his demeanor. And interestingly, it reminded me a lot of Eli. And so when the Giants ultimately drafted him a year later, I kind of felt like it was perfect. A lot of people were...
They're like clones of each other. It's ridiculous.
But a lot of people were, I don't know, they weren't fans of picking him. But to me, it was like drafting Eli 2.0. You know, he was a better athlete. He's bigger, he's faster, he's athletic, so our offense can have some more diversity to it. And, to be down in Tampa for that first game where, honestly, I think there were more Giants fans than there were Tampa Bay fans because so many retirees are down there. And plus, a lot of New Yorkers flew down just to see, Daniel Jones' first game. It was fun. He did exactly what we would expect him to do. Now, look, he'll go through growing pains as we've started to see. But I think the era was ripe, and he's taking advantage of it.
I've been asking a lot of former and current Giants, what do they think of Daniel Jones, but also the Danny Dimes nickname. Justin Tuck said he's not going to call him that because his mom doesn't call him Danny Dimes. What do you think of the nickname?
No, I'll call him Daniel as well. Danny Dimes is interesting. It's fun. Someone should trademark it for him, or he should try to. But I think he's the kind of kid that likes to be Daniel, not Danny Dimes.
The ceiling, the bar is kind of set in New York. Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls. Just what do you think Daniel Jones can be? What kind of level?
Well, he can. It's all about what you get surrounded with. Eli had great teams around him, both on the offensive skill position side, but also on the defense, especially on the defensive side with Strahan those first couple years, and then Tuck and some of those other guys, rushing quarterbacks. Tom Brady in particular in Super Bowls. And so if Dave Gettleman does a good job of building both sides of the offense, Daniel can be a Super Bowl quarterback. There's no doubt about that.
As a former running back, watching Saquon Barkley play football, how do you describe that?
He's a freak, but it's fun. The first thing he said to me when I met him 2 years ago was, "I'm going to break all your records." I was like, you know what? I hope so, because that means good things happening for the New York Giants. But Physically, he's he's abnormal, right? It's just big thighs. He's got a big chest, and his muscular. And even though he's 235 pounds or so, he runs like he's 190, meaning his elusiveness and his speed. And so very rarely do you have a guy like that come across the NFL that plays that position. So it's fun to watch. He's exciting to watch.
Before I let you go, it's amazing to me, like, football player and then everything you've done post-football. What drives you on a day-to-day basis? You do so many different things, the radio show, Thuzio.
Yeah, I'm always interested in reinventing myself. And so I'm also not one to turn down an opportunity because I don't know what it's going to lead to. And so not everything is successful. Sometimes they fail, but you try it, and you try it fearlessly, and hopefully good things happen. And so far, I think I've been blessed.
I didn't envision Tiki Barber on Broadway. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that was awesome, though. That was one of the most unique and fulfilling professional things I've ever done, mainly because of the show that I was in, Kinky Boots, which has a very important message about inclusion and acceptance. And getting to play Don, who was the antagonist, I was kind of the thesis of the whole show. And so it was moving. Like every night, the crowd would respond with this love that was just, it was awesome. So I miss it in a sense. It was a lot of work, probably more work than I would have imagined. But it was amazing.
Tiki, thank you so much. Go sign some autographs.
No, certainly. I'll see you in the office.
Yeah.